We're trying to finish my drift F22 for Drift Week. We are on a super limited time frame, and I'll get right to it. This does not go too well. Hope you guys enjoy watching. Let's get to it. We learned we should put like this top port in the cylinder head. We should probably put to the radiator. Not sure if it should go on the hot side or cold side, but it's already on the cold side, so that's how it's gonna stay. I don't think it's gonna be a major problem if I have a small hot like loop, just hot coolant. It just won't cool that part of the coolant going through. Or maybe it's gonna make that hot. I don't know, it is what it is. We're gonna try it out. We also learned that the thermostat should go on the cold side. Per my friend Wow, he said, yes, of course it goes there. So I don't know. This pipe's back from Fab. That's cool. So right now, Islam mounted the pedal inside the car. I have like a few more wires for powers and ground on the engine harness side. I'm gonna go do that so these guys can throw the engine harness in that I made, the jumper harness, in for good. Dana's grabbing stuff from Home Depot for these coolant lines to cap off a bunch of things that we don't need. And I mean, I don't know if this looks complete to you guys, but it looks complete to me, or at least it's getting there. Yo, this guy's laughing at my video skills. The disrespect. It's okay. He can laugh at me. I have him welding with like the most absurd table ever. It's like the cutest thing I've seen.
You fixed this.
And I fixed this hose by using electrical tape. They said it was unacceptable, but I said,
no, man.
It is what it is.
That's mint.
So he's gonna weld, Dave's gonna start welding this little bung. I don't need a manifold because it's really for an M54 compared to I'm using it on a B58. He's gonna weld that shut for me. Then Islam made this cool plate and the clock is ticking.
Hey.
What's up? What are you up to?
To be honest, I don't really know. There's a lot of loose ends.
Nah, they walked in and said, hey, how's it going with the wires? Looks like a hot mess. And the thing is, if this works out great, what's fucking good? If this works out horrible, I'm so stupid for attempting this. But no, a lot of this looks horrible. But like the map sensor, I can't do until I'm in the car and I know how long it has to be. These are the igniters, those are same thing as the air temperature. So all these wires on the floor right now are just wires I need to go into the car and shorten. Most of the room right here, I gotta figure out what, like there's a few random stragglers like this. I gotta see where this is going. And then, and just figure out this is also just a random wire I used to extend these. But yeah, most of it's pretty close to getting there. I'm just labeling these few individual ones so I can group them all together for like one sensor ground, one 5-volt power. And then maybe get in the car at some point because we're quickly running out of time. Horrible. Grind does not stop. Cole's making me a little thing right here that is for fuel pump stuff. Has a siphon so it sucks fuel from the passenger side to the driver's side. Cole's making something so that still functions properly. Do similar things on E36s, but it's a little bit different. Dave was here earlier. He welded up all this, so now I won't have smoke anymore inside the cabin, which is pretty cool. There's a ton of dust on my new wide strap stuff, but that's whatever. Islam's here. He's gonna be putting on the brakes in a second in the rear. Dana's playing. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, it looks like a mess in the front, but it's pretty great. We're trying to figure out power steering and stuff. There's a stock E46 reservoir. I got this really fancy one with like it looks like an oil filter on the bottom, which is really, really cool. The E46 one to change to like, when you have an issue, you just buy a whole new reservoir. This one's cool because it holds a massive amount of fluid and has a really, really large filter, so you'd assume it lasts longer before getting clogged up and gunked up. The filter is actually the same size as the whole other reservoir is. Only problem is that without like crazy modifications to that in terms of line routing, I cannot easily make it fit with what we have. So we're gonna use the stock E46 one for now. Islam's slamming it on. No, Islam's not doing anything. Islam's eating lunch, dinner, something. Dana's slamming this on. So he's putting it on, charge pipes on. The intake manifold is on for good. We got new pads, new power stop rotors. Chase from Chase Bays is the man. He sent me this, like overnighted it, super cool. Booster delete thing. I didn't tell him yet, but he'll know before this video goes up and before you guys know. I don't know how easy it is gonna be to make it fit. He bought all the F80 stuff to try and make it work and fit on his car. We tried doing the same. I'm having trouble with making it all fit and work with the lines. He sent me lines also. We're just trying to figure out the routing and seeing what's best. So as of right now, the OEM one is back here. It's not really hooked up yet. My ECU stuff's done, as I've been saying for 4 days. It's almost done, practically done. I actually gotta run some wires now in the engine bay as they do the fan stuff. This is like the home stretch, but as of this second, there's extremely limited time left to finish this car and make it to Drift Week. Still need to be dyno tuned. Still a lot of guesswork with it, with the standalone Link ECU. Guys at Link are quite helpful, but we're doing it. We're trying. We're not throwing in the towel yet, and hopefully we can get it done. I pulled the harness back off the car just to do those last few wires outside, because me leaning over trying to work on this while everyone else is working is super hard. We have the rear brake setup kind of sorted. It's not correct, but it'll work. It's the rear. We're using like F series parts, and the offsets are a little different. Not forward backwards, more like looks like the pad will have like 70-80% contact, not 100. So whatever. Everyone's pretty much out as of this second. I'm still gonna clean this up. Cole's machining some fuel things still. Hopefully that works out good. Few ways to do that, but they were doing it versus using OEM crap. I think it's work a little better. Now we have this loom back out. I can tape it up for good, clean up a little bit. A lot of work left, very little time. Windshield is in. These panels are actually going on sort of for good. We're gonna put them loose, make sure it lines up good, pop the headlights in, and then snug them down for good. Putting fresh bar plugs in, putting injector plugs in, dashboards in. But we have like less than 24 hours left to complete this car. So the hustle's real, the struggle's realer. We had to take a moment, clean out the shop. It might look a little bit cleaner under the car and around it, although it's still sort of a mess in here because it was getting really, really crazy because we want to stop and work on it. So while I was blinking, Nana put on the spark plug coil pack. We have a high pressure fuel home delete or block off plate that we made. It's a little shitty looking, but it's cool. These are the injector block offs. So we had one of the guys work here, Cole's friend, make these. One friend drew it, the other one machined it. This blocks off the direct injectors. Hopefully they don't get too hot and cause detonation and blow up because that'd sort of suck. Hopefully it works okay. But the motor's getting together. So now we're gonna keep grinding. Oh, also some of the body panels ended up on. Makes me really happy, as dumb as it might be. I'll put my grills in. Shocks don't fit, but the car looks sick. We are almost at the point of trying to start this thing. Well, crank it, because it's probably not gonna start. No disrespect to the builders. This car is freaking sick. That's great. I feel like I'm cheating on Starbucks right now. That's all. We're trying to get the car to work. It's really late here, but the guys from Link ECU are being very helpful, and they're trying to diagnose everything. The crank sensor signal's sort of shitty. Both intake cam signals look a little bit different, but we checked the pinout on the crank sensor so far, and the wiring all looks like we just checked at the sensor. Wiring looks good so far, but power is good. It has 5 volt, has ground. All that looks really normal. But the sensor seems a little bit erratic, the reading. So I'm gonna have them reconnect, try to help me get this set up.
I guess when you say stop?
Yeah, sure.
Minimal.
So we're having some issues with the crank sensor setup. So luckily the cam sensors are both working correctly. The trigger pattern matches what the cam sensor looks like. I don't have a timing light because I don't really do a ton of standalone stuff, and I don't know. I thought I had one. I can't find it pretty much. We're gonna get a timing light. We're gonna get a few things tested. The guys at Link were helping us to test a bunch of things till really late. The crank sensor signal does not look correct at all. It looks super crappy, super wrong, like super jittery. We're gonna see what they say. If they tell me right now pretty much, hey, we don't know what's wrong, I will be running a new wire directly to the crank sensor. From the factory, it's not shielded. I'm gonna shield it though if they tell me to. I'm waiting on them right now. They're gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna try whatever they say right now, and then we're gonna see if we can get the crank sensor reading correctly. Other than that, it looks like a hot mess under here, but a lot of it's actually like well sorted. Like all these that look like they're loose, I already ran all the powers, grounds where they have to be. Wastegate's sort of on, a little loose because we got to rotate a little bit, but we are getting it there. We're getting it done. We are limited on hours left to finish this car. It is not good. Going in the drift F80, I'm practically ready to give up on this thing. This is not going too hot. Having some issues getting a cam sensors show perfectly. The crank sensors do not at all. The crank sensor is not showing right on the link ECU. They are really helpful in trying to make it work, but unfortunately you're saying that because if they don't, even though it shows RPM so it's working, their scope in the system's not showing it good enough for them to figure out the trigger offset. So I'm sort of in a bad spot. So they're gonna start banging out the angle kit on the Drift F80. That way at least I have something to drive Drift Week if this does not work. Old angle kit is out. No one's too hyped anymore. Surprised Islam has not quit yet. Yeah, he's not doing good. Dana's fixing my axle. We're gonna reboot it, but we're just gonna sort of saran wrap it. So it's sort of stupid to remove it at this point. New fancy YFAB stuff is going in, and hopefully I have no more angle kit or lock kit problems. We got the angle kit on. Took a little bit of time. There was a little bit of modification to be done. Not really modification, but different tie rods. There was a little bit of modification to have to be made. Not because it really required modification. It comes with great instruction, but like it's like grind this spot, and then also comes with different tie rods. And the different tie rods that you use are based on whether you use a stock steering rack or a non-electric steering rack. So the F22 has a non-electric steering rack in it. The F80 has a electric steering rack in it, the factory one. So we had to shorten them a little bit to make it all work. It's got an insane angle. If I sound tired to you guys, it's probably because I am super tired banging this out and getting this done. But I am done. We're locked and loaded for Drift Week. This is unfortunately, as mentioned, not making it. Horrible. It feels horrible. I'm not excited about it. It's like super depressing, to be very honest. It's been a struggle to get it done. We tried really hard. Everyone here, literally all of the employees, I had friends come help. We all put in a huge amount of effort to get this done. It will be done. We will be out drifting. I'm not giving up on the project, obviously. It's got to get done. It's got to get finished. I know I'll be hyped when it gets to work. Hopefully the guys at Link help us come through and figure out all the issues we're having in terms of crank sensor stuff. I don't know what else to do. I already rewired it. I got to call that quits for this moment. Go have fun. Go drift with everyone that's going to Drift Week right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, guys.